right, y'all, welcome in. We're gonna get ready in a minute here. Let's get some taps on the screen. Let's get this live shared out. Let's see some comments so we can boost this up and we can get to it, get this free information for y'all. You gotta do nothing but just stay here and learn and hang out with me. Expo Heathy in a couple of minutes here when we get back to it. So like I said, tap that screen, share the live out. When I see some action, we'll get into it. All right, let's go. So I do it all. And you can go ahead and check out all the things that I do at my website, expoheathy.com. But today, I'm focusing mainly here on showing you what we got here for Web3Webs. It's a free, self-guided course on all things Web3. No sign-up, no credit card, no any of that crap. You literally just go to the website, information is there for you. No bullshit. So, if you're into that, go ahead and check it out. And make sure you're following the page as well. If you follow, let's see, so we're on TikTok right now. I'm streaming on my Expo Heathy Brands account, which is from all of my brands that I have And I stream for all of them there on TikTok, because TikTok is weird about letting you stream. So I have all my brands that I promote on this main account. And if you're on other ones like YouTube, Twitch, whatever it is, right, you will see that you're on the Web3Webs page. So go ahead and follow that wherever you're at, and or you can search at Web3Webs on whatever platform you're on, and it'll come up. And of course, you can also go to the website, Web3Webs.page, and that will take you directly to it. If you see here, Web3Webs.page, just like you see in the browser. It'll take you straight to this website, which we have right here. And all you gotta do is scroll. You just scroll, go to step 1, and you click on step 1, and you go from there. Now, we're on episode 9, so obviously we've gotten pretty far from step 1, right? We are now in step 3. No, so we're still in step 2. Hold on, I'm gonna double check. So here, even now you can see it. So if you go to YouTube, it's gonna be slow kind of streaming right now, but you search Web3Webs. Oops. Web3Webs. I guess I could have just even gone to the YouTube link from the website, but I wanted to show you this. So there you can see we got all the past streams. Here's the last stream we did. Let me just skip to the end here. Okay, so yeah, we got into the third presentation again. It looks like we ended on autumn in the vocabulary section. So we'll continue on from there today. But before we get into that, obviously we do the market update, as I promised I would start doing in the beginning of the show, because I keep on forgetting to do it afterwards. So here I am now. I'm doing the market update in the beginning, so don't forget. Just remember, if you're new to crypto, if you're new to NFTs and Web3, all this stuff, a lot of the stuff that I'm about to talk about is not going to make sense. So just kind of take note of it mentally, like stick it in the back of your mind for later, because it is going to be a lot more advanced terminology. I'm just going to run through it pretty quickly. So if you do know what I'm talking about, cool, you're about to get your market update, but if not, stick around, because we are going to go through the presentation some more and talk about some of the things that I'm actually going to mention in this market update. So, alright. Now, last time we did the stream, I mentioned how I had been predicting this drop for Bitcoin while everybody else was calling for a rally. And it just made sense to me, right? I talked about it before, how we were in this upwards channel. We had already created a head and shoulders pattern that we had to be able to recover, or we were not going to do very well for long. We tried to make a recovery, made it a little bit almost to 70K here, but got rejected at the 70K level pretty hard. And I made a post on the X app as well as on the comments of the previous videos about how I'm pretty sure that rejection is going to cause a market dump. Now, why did I believe that? Now, why did I believe that? It was because 70K is a very strong mental level, right? So for traders who are not heavily involved in the market, or passive, and just kind of buy in and out based on what they read or see, 70K, like, even numbers, right? So like 65K, 70K, 80K, right? These even numbers, instead of it being like 62,500, like nobody really, when it's at that number, the most average buyer or seller doesn't think to buy or sell at that time. So these mental levels, like 70K, are very big for us, especially when they have previous structure, right? So if it's showing that previously we've had a time that we came to this level, most likely this is going to be another resistance or support level. So 70K is one of those really heavy resistance levels in my opinion. That, as you can see, we've tried multiple times to get above and just have failed every time. Now, the average YouTube and Twitch or whatever, you're watching, or TikTok person that you're watching about crypto and Web3 is going to tell you that, oh, this is because we're charging up, we're building up momentum to push through and go to new all-time highs. But if you're really reading it, if you're actually looking at the charts, this is bad. This is bad. Like, this means that the market is going to continue down. And I can see all of the signs here because, again, I'm not here trying to sell you some fallacy to try and hype you up into thinking that the crypto is going to the moon, so you dump all your money into it, right? We see the different cycles. You know that there's a bear and a bull cycle. So when we recognize the bear cycle is starting to return, we can't just continue to be bullish. Now, that does not mean that we're going to be, that's it, the bull run is over, right? We still have, again, a lot of the year left over. I said this in the last stream. Most likely what's going to continue is for the excuse me, birth of confirmation. So for the rest of the month of August, we're going to continue to see some downwards movement, maybe some sideways here and there, but for the most part, downwards movement. So I would say for the next 3 weeks here until the end of August, really you should not be buying. That's just my honest opinion. Wait until the end of the month, and this is not financial advice, not tax advice, anything like that. Wait until the end of the month because this is going down. And I'm going to draw another prediction. I drew this one out and it was a little bit delayed. As you can see here, I predicted we were going to come down to the 50K level before. I thought it was going to happen sooner. We actually rallied up to the 70K level, but that, again, I mentioned was going to be a heavy resistance level, which we did end up rejecting off of. We returned back down, actually slightly further than my prediction, to about 48K, but still right around the range because I said 50 to 45. So within that range now, we're going to continue to see movement. This is basically showing how far it's going to go down, at least for the next phase. So we see here already, I have some Ichimoku clouds on there too. That's the random green clouds. If you know about those, that's very helpful. I'm going to add those in to the course as well. I'm still learning how to use them, so I don't want to add things that I'm not totally knowledgeable of yet, right? I mean, I added like Merkle trees, but that's a base concept of blockchain that you have to add in there. I don't even fully comprehend it yet, but alright, so anyways, with this Ichimoku cloud, I'm seeing already that it was trying to break back above this structure, but you see we're already dipping back into it, and I feel most likely it will break back below the cloud and continue down back into the range that we have down here sitting, because there's a huge amount of liquidity sitting right here at the 40 to 45K level. There's just so many people who saw all of this, were buying in this time, and have sat there with their positions and are in the profit, right? So those people who sat on their positions waiting for 100K, who are up here right after they had already bought down here at the 40K level, they're saying to themselves, oh, I'm going to hold, it's going to go to 100K. While the market makers who know the market structure and have all of this in mind are bringing it down, and if you know how to read the charts and see the phases, you would know that clearly. So now, with the breakdown coming, I'm going to add more prediction here. I'm going to draw it out. Oops. Here, let me expand that again. So I'm going to draw it out. We should see maybe some sideways movement, right? So let's see, when's the end of August? The end of August is right here. Okay. I'm going to mark it out, actually. So we're going to get a vertical line. We're going to zoom in here and get the last day of August. Okay, right here. So that's the last day of August. Now, let's get our marker and try this again. Marker. So I think most likely we're going to continue down into this range. And then for the month of September, it's going to be what I call sideways September. So awful October, sideways September, and then Pumptober, right? So that's when the feelings go through, and it seems like that's running true this year. So right now, we're seeing a dump down. It's going to probably come back to try to retest this level. It's going to test out these Fibonacci levels on the way down, right? Maybe we'll see some sideways after that dip, and then down into this level. After we recover that liquidity there from all those people who are sitting on positions, and all the people who start shorts at this level, because you see also we've got a previous low of the week and that was held for quite some time before we had the... No, that's still the low. Yeah, that's still the low of the freaking like months. So since January, that's the low. If we break, oh wow, so yeah, if we break that low, then we're gonna see some really bad low movements. Like we're gonna see like some cheap Bitcoin. I'm talking like 20K, possibly lower. But that's like doomsday scenario, bad, most likely not gonna happen, right? There's actually too much investment happening and too many things going on within the space for that to actually happen right now. I would see that happening probably, after this year ends. Let's see. Yeah, probably towards the middle of the year next year. We might start to see something like that when the actual bear market returns. I do not see that happening anytime soon because there's just too much. And I'm bearish right now, right? But I don't see it being that bearish. So this is the lowest we could come down to for now. Is the previous low of the week. More likely is that we're going to come down and retest this level, which lines up with this here. So if you see. This out, it lines up perfectly there, right? So this is basically going to be our decision point here. I feel like this is going to be our point of contention. It's going to be sitting right around 45K. So I think now this is a possible scenario. So I'm going to do that as well. Then this is scenario, right? If we lose that level, things are bad, I'm telling you. and then even worse if we lose that low of the week. Not even low of the week, it's like low of the year right now. So let's see. And then the more likely, like probably 80% chance of happening is that we're actually going to continue up here. So we should see it to continue up. Maybe even come back to retest this level. We're probably not a double top there because it'll be bad. Okay, this is where we're looking at, right? At the end of September. This is where we're looking at. Also, it lines up perfect. So yeah, we should see some sideways movement here and then up. And probably for the month of September, it'll just be should I close this? Is there any voice? Okay, I'm gonna redo that. Come on. There we go. Okay, so I'm gonna redo this to make it look better and not go as far. I don't want to predict too far. So that's the bad scenario, right? Here's good scenario. Is we actually come up and maybe sideways, right? There we go. I'll leave it at that. That's most likely what's going to happen, is that we come down to this level and we just continue sideways for the month of September. We continue sideways for the month of September. And then when October comes around, it is boom to so we got September 24. Yeah, right here. So there's the end of the month. Right there. So we should see some, real nice upward movement starting, right around the time of October. And then of course, right, there's going to be the holiday sell-off, so watch out for that. Everybody wants to buy their Christmas gifts and stuff, so everybody's putting their money up the market. It's just natural, it's cycles, right? You gotta pay attention to this stuff. And watching the charts and watching the markets and seeing how and stuff for a few years now, so 6 years now. So, not that I'm an expert, nothing like that, it's just I'm seeing the patterns, I'm learning them, right? And I'm learning more every day. And that's what it's all about. You gotta see the patterns and recognize the patterns. So with all that, thank you for hanging around and listening to my spiel there with the market update. If you're new to this stuff, that probably was just like, what? Right? And that's totally fine. Thank you for hanging out there. Now we're gonna get into the presentations. So if you have any questions about the market, feel free to drop them in the chat. Or if you have any questions about anything at all with Web3, you can go ahead and drop it in the chat as well, and I will answer your question to the best of my ability. I got the multi-stream chat up over here as well as TikTok up so I can see your chats. And if not, continue on. Let's go to so again, for those of you who are new, you can go to Web3Webs.page and follow me if you'd like to. Just watching it on the screen. Website and you can find it. It's literally like actually right here. It's like you click on podcast. There you go. All right, you get it. Right, so go back to home and we'll continue on from here. So we are in step number 3 now, digital assets. Let me make sure everything is aligned properly. It's kind of crooked. There we go. Okay. So we're going to go into this presentation. You just scroll down and click. Remember I said no sign up, no credit card, no bullshit. You just go straight to it. So this is the third presentation, digital assets, going into things like crypto. We're going to go into, I think we already did a lot of vocabularies. We left off so HODL, we finished up on which stands for Hold On for Dear Life. It's a common phrase in the crypto community. Hold on to your crypto. something you should be doing for a good portion of your portfolio. However, holding on forever and just even no matter what happens, not selling can also be detrimental, because there are, there's things that go down. There's blockchains and platforms that don't end up following through with what they were going to do, or don't, and they go bankrupt, whatever it is. And you have to be able to react in those moments. You can't just sit there and hold on to a crypto thinking that it's going to come back forever when it's just not, right? So in many cases, there are times where you should sell, right? But because of this mindset that they promote, you won't, and you will actually lose money that you could have gotten back had you actually sold. So, of course, more often than not, the opposite is true, is that if you sell early on, you're actually missing out on more gains. But most of us, don't have the time or patience to sit there and watch the charts all day and day trade. So it's a good strategy to have. And number two, basically trying to only hodl is going to be detrimental. So, right, you got to kind of pick your poison there. Not really pick your poison. You got to choose from there. See which is going to be beneficial to you based off of the situation happening for whatever crypto you're talking about, right? Because it's not just Bitcoin. We mentioned this, right? It's not just Bitcoin. There's a lot of cryptos out there. So if you like the stream, please make sure you're tapping it. Please make sure you hit that little like button, leave a comment, or whatever you want to do wherever you're at. And please make sure you share it out as well. Get this out to some family, some friends, help them understand this stuff. Alright, let's get into it. We did hodl. So now let's go to hype. Feelings of happiness and excitement that spreads to others, causing a large wave of people to mobilize towards a certain idea or project. And hype is like Web3, the majority of it runs off of hype. I'm just gonna be straight up honest. I'm being plain truth. This is how it is. Majority of Web3 runs off of hype, because there are so many projects that simply suck, that are just terrible, that have no future vision, that have no type of structure, have no plan, have no anything, that are just saying, hey, look at my funny picture, give me money. And then everybody gives them money, and then, oh, we're going to have a club, and right, we're going to have fun, and then they run off with the money. So, hype is their number one tool. They will get people so hyped. They'll say all of these things. Look at all these things we're going to do. We're going to build a club for us, and we're going to hang out. We're going to go on yachts together, and we're going to do this and that, right? Literally, these are things that people say in Web3 communities. I'm not even joking, right? So they'll say all this stuff, get people hyped up, get all of this money to the tunes of millions of dollars, and then do what is called a rug pull. They will literally rug pull somebody or a community. They will take the money and just leave. And it's incredible to me how many people fall for the hype. And the FOMO, which is the next one coming up, stands for fear of missing out, and refers to when there is a large amounts of hype in the market, causing people to fear they will miss the opportunity to make a profit if they wait any longer, often leading to bad investment decisions. Right, so they'll say things like, if you don't buy this now, it's going to be 5 times the price in the future, and you won't be able to. If you don't buy this now, you're going to have to buy it from me later, and I'm not going to pay. I'm going to charge you this amount, right? These are tactics that people say later, or actually say, not later, but they actually say, and it's very frustrating. It's very frustrating because it also gives the Web3 community a bad name. right? I don't have 1,000 people on my live stream like other Web3 and crypto people, because they're over here promoting the hype and the FOMO, getting you all worked up and tapping the screen and sharing it out because, right, you're so excited the crypto's gonna go to the moon, right? But then when you buy it and then it dumps and you lose your money and you wait and it doesn't come back and you sit there wondering why, you blame yourself, right? You don't blame the person who hyped you up into it, because it ultimately was your decision. So you have to recognize that too. What is influencing your decisions? Yes, it's your decision ultimately, but there are things influencing your decisions. If you're taking information from people who are only trying to hype you up and use FOMO to get you to do things, then is that really a good decision? Right? You gotta think about that. And for the majority of the people who get into this stuff, it seems like they just kind of want to go with the hype and the FOMO. It's easy, right? It doesn't take a lot of work. You don't have to do all this research and all this learning and what is blockchain and what is Reddit, right? You don't have to do all that. You just get it. What is Dogecoin? I'll buy $100 of Dogecoin. I'm gonna be a millionaire in a week, right? Like, dude, you see, it's frustrating. It's really frustrating because people will believe these things. I even got stuck in it a little bit. I didn't believe it to the ultimate extreme like some people did. I still was at least somewhat structured, like allowing me to go and learn this stuff, right? But other people will just straight up jump into this thing, dump all the money into it, and they have no type of plan. And that's what I'm trying to prevent you to. So I appreciate you hanging out. Please make sure you tap on the screen if you're on TikTok, like the streams, follow, share, subscribe, all that stuff, all the buttons that are on the screen. Do those things for me because I appreciate that. Because again, I'm doing this for free. I'm not asking for any type of payment. There's people out there who will charge you upwards of $2,000, $4,000 to learn this exact information that you're getting right here. So tap on the screen a bit, or liking it live, sharing it out, or following. It doesn't cost anything, right? So thanks for that. Now let's keep on going. Don't get into the hype. Don't get into the phone, right? Really calculate your moves, read into stuff, and research. Excuse me. So now we're going to get into market capital. This is something that I'm going to talk about a lot. Market capital is a very, very common thing that is talked about in Web3 and crypto communities. So definitely try and pay more attention to this once I talk about it a little bit more later on in the presentation. But for now, it's the total dollar value of an asset found by multiplying the circulating supply, which is the money, like the supply of it that's actually out there, by the price, or by the price of the money, whatever value you compare it to. Explain more later. So let's continue on. We got smart contract is a series of complex code to perform certain functions given by the writer of the contract, and explain more in the next presentation of the course. Whales refer to investors who hold large amounts of the available supply of a given asset. By holding such large amounts of the supply, 30%, 40%, 50%, sometimes higher, the whales are able to have a major effect on the price action should they decide to sell a large portion of their holdings. This is also a means for control, in this case of utility tokens, where they own a majority of the voting share, and this is also explained more later. So think of it, right? Whales, they're big, they own a large portion or hold a large portion of the supply of whatever it is. Kind of to simplify it, right? And bank runs. So bank runs occur when unpredicted events take place, such as a market crash or a recession. Such as a market crash or a recession, and people feel the need to take their money out of the banks. Because so many people are doing this at the same time, the banks are unable to provide cash to all those who request it, and as a result, must shut down network, a centralized crypto wallet service, had to shut down withdrawal services during the crash of 2021 because they had over-leveraged the funds investors had on their platform and were unable to provide the funds for all the withdrawal requests during the bank run. Huge. That was big. People were mad. I'm talking mad. Like, I saw a post about someone that had their life savings on Celsius and they lost it. So, right. And that's another thing about diversifying. Right? We talk about having stuff in different places to all your eggs in your basket. Alright, so if there's any questions on that, let me know. Drop them in the chat below and I will see them. If not, make sure you're tapping that screen. What are you doing if you're just chatting here, watching me, giving you free information that you would normally pay thousands of dollars for? Can you at least help me out, man? Tap that screen, right? Alright. So what is crypto? We're going to continue on. Again, stop me if you need me to repeat something. If you have any questions, go ahead and drop it and I'll get to the best way. Crypto is commonly thought of as cryptocurrency. However, this is a very limited way to view it. While many crypto assets often act similarly to currencies, not all of them do. And these crypto assets all have underlying technology meant to solve a specific problem. The term crypto is used to refer to the cryptographic algorithms that solve complex transactional equations, right? It's not like the whole thing isn't just crypto. That's kind of what people think. Crypto is this, it's a funny meme boring thing, NFTs, right? No, crypto is actually referring to that cryptography, which was actually a vocabulary term, I believe, in the last presentation. Sorry, that's my wife using it. So, what is crypto? We're going to start off with the most common, the big one, right? The king of all cryptos, all cryptocurrencies, at least Bitcoin. And Bitcoin is the most widely known crypto asset because of its incredible success and its historical volatility. It was launched in 2009 with the intention of making peer-to-peer digital payments simple, secure, and verifiable without the need for a bank or other financial institution. Huge, right? Because in most countries, most places, pretty much everywhere in the world, you need to go to a bank in order to access any type of funds. This is no longer the case. So, Bitcoin is one of the best performing assets in history. It's had the highest percentage gain of any asset ever before on the books. Period. Many people have been able to earn large profits by mining Bitcoin or trading it through volatility. And we'll explain a little bit more about that too. Remember, mining and volatility were vocab words, and we talked about mining in presentation 2. Hold on, let me just close this door real quick. The dog came in and just like slammed it open. So yeah. Alright. It's getting cold. But yeah, thanks for everybody stopping in. Make sure you're tapping that screen, share the live out. Help me out a bit. Alright. We're continuing on Bitcoin. So Bitcoin has what's called a white paper, and many other cryptos have this as well. And in most cases, people, I'm not going to read that. I don't have time for that, right? You got to do this. I'm telling you, like, if you really want to learn about this stuff, this is where you should start, okay? The Bitcoin white paper. So, Bitcoin white paper is a document written by Satoshi Nakamoto, which is a pseudonym used by an anonymous developer, or it could be a team of developers. Really, we don't know what it is. It outlines the idea for a decentralized digital asset made secure using blockchain technology. It's used to create those Right, so Bitcoin, a peer-to-peer electronic cash system institutional a purely peer-to-peer electronic cash would allow online payments to be sent directly from one party to another without going through a financial institution. Digital signatures provide part of the solution, but the main benefits are lost if a trusted third party is still required to prevent double spending. Remember we talked about double spending in the previous presentation too. But yeah, it has the introduction, talks about transactions. It literally goes through how all this stuff works. It explains proof of work, the network, and all these different things. So I highly encourage you to so definitely read that on your own time. Go take some help, read everything in time. It's really good information. So now we got digital gold. Many believe that Bitcoin acts as digital gold. I'm going to be finishing up in about 5 minutes here too, just so you know. But many believe that Bitcoin acts as digital gold, not only because of the similarities with mining, but also because of performing well as a the fact that there will only ever be 21 million Bitcoin in existence that can be mined, and the last Bitcoin will be mined in 2140, it's prediction, it's about 2040, means that it is an asset that does not inflate. Inflation, remember we talked about inflation, one of the main reasons why things are so expensive right now. For this reason, many project Bitcoin to reach high numbers of value, reaching as high as $1 million USD per Bitcoin. This is purely speculation, though. However, it has been so much, making higher cost of fees to transfer. El Salvador, a country that has adopted Bitcoin as its legal currency, uses the Lightning Network to make it more stable for the country. There's a video that helps explain the Lightning Network.
Does it even work? Well, stick around. In today's episode of Bitcoin Whiteboard Tuesday, we'll answer these questions and more. Hi, I'm Nate Martin from a high enough fee, it could take even days to get confirmed. Unfortunately, this means that Bitcoin in its current form isn't scalable. While Visa can process up to 65,000 transactions per second, Bitcoin can handle only 7. Open an off-chain payment channel directly occur between me and my friend without payment.
Check. Making sure we're back now. Okay. So, I don't know what happened there. My stream got all weird and just stopped working. But I think we're good now. Okay, yeah, we're good now. So I'm going to let the video play again because I'm pretty sure none of that played. So I'm going to start it over and let it go. Here we go.
What is the Lightning Network? Can I really send Bitcoins to anyone instantly without any fees? How does it even work? Well, stick around. In today's episode of Bitcoin Whiteboard Tuesday, we'll answer these questions and more. Hi, I'm Nate Martin from 99bitcoins.com, and welcome to Bitcoin Whiteboard Tuesday, where we take complex Bitcoin topics, break them down, and translate them into plain English. Before we begin, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and click the bell so you'll immediately get notified when a new video comes out. Today's topic is the Bitcoin Lightning Network. Look, Bitcoin is great. It puts you in control of your own money, allows you to connect with people halfway across the world, and it can't be shut down by any government or bank. But just like everything else, it has its limitations. If you've ever tried to send a transaction during a particularly busy time, you've probably noticed that Bitcoin transactions can get slow and expensive. Transactions are confirmed only once every 10 minutes on average, and if you didn't attach a high enough fee, it could take even days to get confirmed. Unfortunately, this means that Bitcoin in its current form isn't scalable. While Visa can process up to 65,000 transactions per second, Bitcoin can handle only 7 transactions per second. With additional upgrades, this number can increase to double digits, but it's still not even close to traditional payment processors. Now, this becomes a real issue with day-to-day microtransactions. One of the main arguments of why Bitcoin can't be used as a medium of exchange is due to how slowly it works and how expensive it is to send small payments through the network. Wouldn't it be great if we could have instant and feeless transactions? This is where the Lightning Network comes in. The Lightning Network is a set of rules that are built on top of Bitcoin's blockchain and are specifically designed to facilitate micropayments. So if Bitcoin is layer 1, the Lightning Network is considered a layer 2 solution. The concept was originally introduced in 2015 and has been in development ever since. Its main idea is that small transactions don't need to be recorded directly on Bitcoin's blockchain, but rather off-chain. It provides all the benefits Bitcoin has without its drawbacks. So how does the Lightning Network work exactly? The basic concept behind the Lightning Network is payment channels. In other words, if I want to transact with my friend, we open an off-chain payment channel between us. From then on, the payment channel is open and any number of transactions can directly occur between me and my friend, without payments ever touching the main blockchain. Funds can be transferred as quickly as the user's wallets can communicate over the net. Once we want to conclude our business, we conduct a closing transaction on the main blockchain and basically settle all of our previous transactions. This is kind of like me and my friend writing down how much each one of us owes the other without ever exchanging the money until he and I choose to settle the bill. Let's say my friend and I want to make some small bets on the results of the World Cup. If we pay these bets on the level 1 Bitcoin blockchain, we may end up paying a lot more than we intended due to fees. On the other hand, if we don't pay enough fees, we might find ourselves waiting for hours for the money to change hands. But if we use the Lightning Network, it's a whole different ballgame. Well, let me explain. When you open a payment channel, each of you deposits a certain amount of money that acts sort of like a security deposit. The amount needs to be equal to or larger than the value that will eventually be transacted. Let's say my friend and I want to conduct a series of bets with a total value of 1 Bitcoin. So we open up a payment channel between us and each of us deposits 0.5 Bitcoins as a security deposit. This deposit is the only payment that actually reaches the layer 1 blockchain. From now on, payments will be settled only between me and my friend. Keep in mind that if at any point either one of us wants to back out of the transaction, we can easily just take our deposit and leave without consulting with the other person. Now, let's assume that I lose a bet and need to pay my friend 0.1 Bitcoin. We will both sign a transaction in our off-chain ledger, kind of like a small pocketbook, stating that I now have 0.4 Bitcoins and he has 0.6 Bitcoins. If at any point my friend wants to leave with the winnings, he can just display our signed ledger to the network and the deposits will be returned according to the new balances. The Lightning Network also has a fraud protection mechanism built in. If for some reason I were to try to back out now and take my whole 0.5 Bitcoins back, my whole deposit will be sent over to my friend. Such harsh penalties are in place in order to discourage participants from trying to cheat. Remember, even if my friend and I transacted over 1,000 times, the blockchain will only ever show 2 transactions, one for opening the payment channel and depositing the money, and one for closing it and settling the bill. All of the transactions in between were basically feeless and instant. So this is how the basic function of the Lightning Network works. But while this is all very nice, it means I have to deposit funds with each new person I want to interact with, and that's not very realistic. In order to overcome this issue, the Lightning Network allows me to jump through connected payment channels. This means that if I have a payment channel with my friend and he has a payment channel with his sister, I can ask my friend to pay his sister on my behalf using their open payment channel. The network effect makes the Lightning Network much more powerful, since in order to transact with anyone, you just need to find a path to that someone through other participants in the network who already know each other. It doesn't even matter if that channel goes through 100 different intermediaries, hence making the Lightning Network globally scalable. Moreover, the Lightning Network brings new possibilities for using Bitcoin as a payment method. One interesting example is that you can start streaming workload, meaning you can pay workers only for the number of minutes or even seconds they've worked, since there's no overhead. There's still a long way before the Lightning Network finishes its testing phases or becomes fully operational. Still, in light of Bitcoin's very problematic drawbacks we discussed in the beginning of this video, this is really big news. With instant and near feeless Lightning payments, Bitcoin would finally be able to replace credit cards and even cash or other person-to-person transaction methods. That's it for today's episode of Bitcoin Whiteboard Tuesday. Hopefully by now you understand the basic concepts of what the Lightning Network is and how it works. You may still have some questions, man. If
All right, make sure my mic was on. But all right, so that was 99 Bitcoins. You can go check out their channel, see everything. They got a whole bunch of stuff. They answer a lot of questions in there, so they really good content. Definitely go check them out. But just wanted that quick explanation there for the Lightning Network to kind of get a better understanding of how that works, why layer 2s are necessary, stuff like that. And one of the layer 2 options that are out there for Bitcoin that is actually used the most. So I'm going to wrap things up there. Thank you all for coming through today. Next time we'll do another market update in the beginning, and we will get started right here with Ethereum. So again, thank you all for coming through, hanging out. We didn't get any questions this time around, but that's okay. Come back with some questions next time. Even if you want to, go ahead further into the presentations, learn, come back with some questions for next time so I can answer them live on the show, because I'm only going to be doing this for the period of the time that we go through these presentations, and then I might do one every once in a while to help, provide that resource for people who are new to this stuff, because with the new market coming up and, all these new things happening within the space, and the fact that we have a pretty big bull run just around the corner coming up, pretty most likely, don't take this as financial advice, but most likely coming up in October. So I want people to be prepared. I want people to understand this stuff properly, and not, buy into the hype and the FOMO and just lose huge opportunities to make life-changing wealth and create things that actually impact the world positively. So we're going to be back again next time. Again, I'm Expo Hiti, musician, artist, farmer, Web2, Web3 developer. I do a whole lot of stuff and I do it well. So go ahead and check it out by going to expohiti.com. And you can see all of the free stuff I've done for Web3Webs by going to the links that have been scrolling across the page this whole time. Go to Web3Webs.page. You can see all the stuff and continue on and look back in the presentations, as well as see previous podcasts from the other ones, because this is episode 9, right? So we'll be back again most likely tomorrow with episode 10.